Hello friends, family and other creatures from the sea. Welcome back to another Team Liquid map contest map here. Curious Minds is the name of the map. This is a new map. A very pretty one, I have to admit. I like it. Look at that, all that purple. Looking mighty fine. Two fantastic players as well. We have uThermal here in the bottom right, spawning as the Red Terran player. And top left we have ShoWTimE going for a very rapid probe scout. Did I mess up? Yep, I messed up the game speed. Happens to the best. With both players opening up with a very rapid scout. So ShoWTimE perhaps going for a proxy 2-gate. And uThermal most likely going to be going for either the proxy barracks marauder, but more likely this is going to be an eBay block. The proxy marauder hasn't really been popular for a while now, especially on maps with a ramp. It is not quite as powerful. ShoWTimE pops in here and it's going to try to harass this barracks a little bit. This is a very fast scout here out of ShoWTimE. It's a pylon scout, but I'm not quite sure what it is for, honestly. Like, the difference between a pylon and a gateway scout is that you see a little bit faster if your opponent proxy the barracks, but you can't really get a lot of other information with it, and it does cost you about 50 to 60 minerals. At like, I think it's at the 3-minute mark is where I did most of my tests when I was testing the different scout timings. So you basically have 3 different scout timings. You have after your pylon, pylon scout, gateway scout, and then you have the no scout / cybercore scout. The cybercore scout is by far the best, or the no scout, or whatever you want to call it. It saves you about, I think it is 220 minerals in comparison to a pylon scout. So that's a decent chunk of money that you get from that. And with the gateway and the pylon, I believe there's 50 or 55 or 60 minerals in between. But it's been a while since I've done those numbers, and also my mathematical education isn't too great. Basic addition and subtraction haven't been brilliant for me. Elementary school was a struggle. So I might have been wrong, but it is definitely has a decent impact. We indeed saw the eBay block here, and the response out of ShoWTimE is quite interesting. Is Zealot chrono boosted, Stargate in the main base. He's gonna go for a Nexus here. So he's gonna get a very rapid tech structure, but his Nexus is going to be very delayed. This would be completely okay for ShoWTimE if his opponent followed this up with, let's say, a factory with Hellions, proxy starport. Just anything aggressive, because with this fast Stargate, what you want is to stop your opponent from dealing damage. This is not an investment in economy. This is an investment in perhaps dealing a little bit of damage, but mainly at stopping any threat from your opponent ever doing any damage. Stargate is by far the best tech structure for Protoss if you don't want to take any damage from mine drops, from Hellion drops or Hellion run-bys, basically anything. Also gives some free scouting early on, which means that you can just prepare better for anything that comes for you. The problem with it is because his Nexus is so delayed, is that he isn't actually in that great of a spot economically. And we'll actually see that in the numbers soon. We already see that the income is a little bit higher here for uThermal, even though uThermal is down 5 workers at this point. Once the second orbital finishes, that will be a big deal. And on top of that, uThermal went for one of the better counters. The triple Rex follow-up is probably the best thing he could have gotten against what his opponent is doing. Right now we see a bunch of Marines being pulled down. Zealot is getting a single kill, but the Oracle, except for that one Marine, hasn't really gotten much here. So far 2 SUVs and Marine have gone down on the side of uThermal, and a single probe and a Zealot have gone down on the side of ShoWTimE. I like this follow-up a lot. Very often once people, if they open with this target, they want to go into those Phoenixes, and ShoWTimE says, no, I'm completely okay with just opening Oracle and going into Blink here. And allowing myself to get a little bit of map control with that Oracle, later on push on the map perhaps with those Blink Stalkers. A little bit less safe if your opponent is playing a factory opener, but if your opponent is playing something like a 3-Rex, yep, that is absolutely fantastic, and that is something that you definitely can get away with. You can see a second Oracle being produced. This is probably a safety Oracle, or perhaps a counter-attack Oracle, as I see that we saw a probe head towards this base. Now the probe is heading here, but follow-up is 4 gas before the 3rd. So It wouldn't completely surprise me if what ShoWTimE wants to do with these two oracles, if he wants to just kind of counterattack with them too and try to get some damage down. However, uThermal is ready for that, has a turret in both mineral lines. We'll see if that's indeed what ShoWTimE is going to try to do. No, she's going to send them back home. I'm kind of surprised that he built a second oracle, because against pure marine it's not actually that usual to have 2 oracles. Almost loses one there, needs to be a little bit careful. Stim has finished up, combat shield has finished up, +1 hasn't even started yet, but this third base is going to be tricky to defend here for ShoWTimE. Cancels his battery, cancels his Nexus, and loses the pylon. Expensive little adventure there for the German. 200 minerals plus 20, 225 minerals lost there. Also supply blocking himself here. And let's be real, his stack also isn't that quick. Blink has been extremely delayed, partly because of that second oracle. Now the oracles are getting a little bit of damage, and this is kind of what I expected earlier when we saw that move out. Because once you move out with 3 racks, there's no more units at home. I don't understand this move at all out of uThermal. I'm surprised he even attempts it against a player like ShoWTimE. Tends to not really work, so yeah, obviously doesn't work. Another thing that's surprising me, is that he's still on the map here. He's gonna end up losing a bunch of marines and needs to be careful, needs to run away now. He doesn't, of course, know if Blink is about to finish up. This Blink could have been done already, and then these marines might have been in a bit of trouble. So a risky move there out of uThermal that, I mean, with a pretty low reward. I don't think there was a big reward there, unless ShoWTimE accidentally force fields his own mineral line rather than this ramp, but ShoWTimE has been playing long enough, is good enough, has the mechanics to be able to keep up. So a little bit surprised that uThermal tried to do that. I'm also surprised that he's going so heavy on the aggression here, deciding to delay his third command center. Of course, you can always delay one of your production rounds to get a faster third base, but uThermal says, no, I want to be on the map with a lot of units. I want to have as many units as possible, but he just denied the third base already. I wouldn't mind seeing him build out his eco lead a little bit here and say, hey, I just already did some damage, your third is delayed, you're going to be oversaturated in your natural. Oh, what is this? ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE realizing he can't keep this base, actually proxies a Nexus. This is the first time I've actually ever seen a hidden base out of ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE known to be the wall, the Mauer, of course, because he's so strong and so good defensively. He's not known as the cheesy prick. That's my nickname. Or the clown. Or the one-man circus act. Yeah, lots of nicknames. He just has one, and it's the wall. Because he's a very solid defensive player that doesn't like to use gimmicks too much. uThermal's gonna drop into a 2-base Protoss player. This is insanity. This makes no sense, but it's actually working out. Loses a full Medivac, gonna be able to snipe a lot of these Stalkers as well, though. He's just trading out at this point, but this was a very odd engagement. Just so odd, because I think he lost a little bit of map control, especially if he's going to lose these Medivacs. Now we have another attack in the natural. Mines are trying to get into position. ShoWTimE, are you paying attention? Oh, ShoWTimE, you're not paying attention, are you? Oh, you're not paying attention. 19 workers have gone down on the side of ShoWTimE. And uThermal picks up the scraps and tries to boost out of here. We'll lose one more Medivac, but what a fight this was. What looked to be a high risk, low reward move turned out to have a higher reward than I thought it was. As he takes out 22 workers, does lose his map control a little bit. He's moving back all the way home. Gets 2 bunkers. Now, of course, uThermal isn't aware of the fact that there's a third base here. Right now, uThermal thinks, hey, I'm playing against a 2-base toss and I just killed 20 freaking workers. Like, I think I'm going to be fine. I'm just going to build my bunkers, sit at home, and get the Vikings. ShoWTimE's going to try to abuse that by mass chrono boosting here on this Nexus. Is he going to get another Nexus? I'd be very surprised. I don't think he actually can. He's going to push out on the map. Oh, uThermal is going to try to scout if there's a third base here. And it actually would be good for ShoWTimE. Oh, no. He saw that. uThermal definitely saw that. We're going to see a scan. Yeah. Double drop immediately to that bottom left base. That's kind of risky though. It also got spotted. There's no. You got spotted. You know you got spotted. No, uThermal. Huge error here. Huge error. Losing 2 full Medivacs. He's trying to move out with the rest of his army, but he knew he got spotted. He scanned for the observer and he killed the observer. Now ShoWTimE's feeling a little bit more ballsy. He's like, hey, wait a second. I have a base on the map. The moment I give up my map control, you're just gonna walk over there and kill it, or you're gonna force my army to split up, and then... Oh, I love this move. This is risk, but this is cute. Risky, but cute. It's the kind of description you want on your dating profile. Okay. I like this a lot out of uThermal. This drop I liked a lot as well. Very good decision here. 8-9 workers going down immediately. It's a very odd game because of this base. So basically what happens here is that ShoWTimE ideally wants to be aggressive, but he can't really be aggressive because he doesn't have the army for it. So right now he keeps this watchtower, which is a godsend at this point for him, because without this watchtower he has no vision whatsoever, and he just needs to be careful that nothing goes into his main base. So he kind of splits his army in two parts, and I guess if he sees his opponent, he'll try to like attack in one spot. He'll try to merge those two armies. uThermal seems to be going for a 1-1 attack with Ghost, a bunch of Vikings. Now the question is, where are you going to go? Not quite sure if... oh my god. Beautiful decision making here out of uThermal. uThermal realizing that most likely ShoWTimE does have the other watchtowers, both of them right now. And he's just gonna go straight towards the middle. ShoWTimE's gonna get a warning, but he's gonna get the warning really late. The Zealots don't quite see it. uThermal's moving in position, and this is a classic uThermal move. Honestly, scans here. Just ShoWTimE gets a little bit suspicious. He's like, hey, why would anyone scan up there? It's a little bit too late though. He's going to be caught out of position. A couple of EMPs raining down on this army. Sentries absolutely empty at this point. Still 4 sentries in the back with a lot of energy though. Top of this ramp gets secured here out of uThermal. Do we have anything moving towards that left side? No, we don't. We have a recall. Probes are trying to get recall. 31 workers have gone down. +2 is going to get taken out before it finishes as well. And uThermal even taking a nice position here, using the Nexus to his advantage. Colossi, 2 of them not shooting, just dancing at this point. Vikings dishing out a lot of damage. End of the day, ShoWTimE is going to clean this up. But at what cost? 38 workers have gone down at this point. Sure, he's on 4 bases. How many workers has he lost in total? 70 workers killed in a 12-minute game here. Oi, 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 oi. And still relatively close. Still relatively close. It's a little bit of a mystery to me. I'm not quite sure why it is this close. It feels like uThermal should be... well, I guess he threw away a lot of free units during the course of the game. Not the greatest at times. I'm gonna try to fly out of here, but I think once again he's gonna lose a couple of medevacts for free. The boosts are about to run out. These 3 stalkers. Yep, there we go. We'll be able to take out that medevac. There's one more medevac with units in it, but it's not the medevac that's being targeted. However, uThermal decides to just drop everything. It wouldn't have mattered. That's both the medevacs go down. uThermal right now with a smaller army with almost no air units. 4 Vikings, not a single medevac. We have enhanced shockwave on the way. Continued probe production. So once again ShoWTimE says, hey, if you keep throwing away units, eventually I'm just gonna catch up with you in worker count and I'm going to be absolutely fine. We have no armory, no second eBay, which means that uThermal is planning on staying on the 1-1 upgrades he currently has. At the same time, I don't even think we have a forge on the map right now for ShoWTimE. So to be fair, we also don't have a forge on the map for uThermal. It's mainly because he's a Terran. So 4cc is coming down here. 58 workers against 48. Triple mulage also should help. Sadly, we don't see any mules in action at the moment because uThermal has been scanning like a madman. Bottom base is still a target at this point, but at this point it feels a little more natural, I guess. Does it? I think as a Protoss you want to expand towards this as your 3rd, this as your 4th, and this as your 5th. And you can have a nice setup there. It's easily defended by an army that consists of Stalker Colossi, perhaps added in a couple sprinkled Disruptors. Here we do have these Disruptors sprinkled in already, as we had another scan out of uThermal. Throw some 2 more mules. Perhaps that's the reason why uThermal hasn't pulled ahead that far, is that he's constantly just scanning rather than muling, and sometimes he just needs to sit back and get a bunch of money, I guess. Such a hard worker, always out on the map, scouting for information. Good EMPs going down, 1 Liberator sieges up. Disruptors haven't really contributed in this battle yet. Liberators haven't either though. Vikings stay alive, all the Colossi go down, but this fight goes relatively well here for ShoWTimE, and ShoWTimE will be able to push back uThermal here. uThermal, who has been in such a good economical position, but still doesn't really seem to be able to grab that lead that he requires. Now is getting the armory, now is getting the second eBay, but that might just be a little bit too late because ShoWTimE's coming in for a push, and this is looking very dangerous. EMPs are going to help out. This is an army that needs its shields. 3 Archons are the tanks. Everything else in this army just dies too rapidly. 4CC is being landed as well, as we have 62 workers against 57, and ShoWTimE once again pulls ahead in the worker count, which means that for uThermal now is ready to send out another double drop and kill 55 workers. We'll see if he's going to be capable of doing that. Double armory coming down here. Not quite sure what that is for, probably a mistake. Big disruptor shot is landing there. Second disruptor shot not quite. Vikings not contributing anything to this fight as there's nothing to shoot for them. The uThermal tries to go for a chase, but I would recommend chasing this army, my friend. uThermal disagrees, wants another scan forward, but yeah, he's just gonna get pushed back by these disruptors, my friend. It was a waste of 2 scans there. It's gonna cost him some big money. It's not like he has that many SCVs. The mules are so important for him, and it's just, they haven't been used that much. I wish I could see how many mules have been dropped. Don't show up in the units lost tab, right? Because they just expire. Yeah. Otherwise, Broodlings also would show up. Good blink forward, nice positioning out of ShoWTimE. Tries to push this back with his disruptors. Needs to be very careful though. It's easy to push too far forward and then get sniped out. One more disruptor shot. Orbital command gets taken out. 4 base against 3 base once again. And this time ShoWTimE also has the worker count to back it up. We do have the double armory, we have the double eBay, but we don't have any extra upgrades. I think uThermal is absolutely dead. uThermal has nothing. Oh, he's sending out three medevacs to the other side of the map. 59 supply against 99. Now, walking up ramps is not the specialty of the Disruptor. And it's not the specialty of the Stalker or the Archon either. He's going to get a decent hit there. Planetary still alive. Probably should be taken out at this point. Big recall coming out of ShoWTimE here. He's going to be able to recall with absolutely everything. A couple of Disruptors get taken out. 17 workers fall on the side of ShoWTimE as well. Once again, a successful drop. More workers going down on the side of ShoWTimE, who managed to rebuild his forge. Does he have another blink available? uThermal just keeps going. Every single time I feel like, hey, just you can leave, buddy. Like, it's okay. You don't have to fight until you die. But uThermal has a different mindset than I have, apparently. Doesn't want to save any of his units. Another double drop coming out. This time going towards that bottom base. ShoWTimE is already in position, though. Yeah, uThermal's gonna need massive damage here, honestly. 62 army supply against 109. ShoWTimE did a fantastic job this game of coming back time after time. Right now even sees the 2 medevacs here flying through the tower vision. Another scan out of uThermal. Tries to jump, or sorry, tries to drop into this little corner, this little nuke. Stalkers were ready though. I think this is going to be the final attempt here out of uThermal. He needs to get a lot done with this army, but he just simply can't. He could have perhaps walked into this base, but he decided against it. ShoWTimE is accepting the base trade. He says, hey, I think I have enough units at home, enough gateways at home, enough money at home that I can just stop anything that you're sending towards me, and I don't think you have enough to stop me at your own house. And I think that might just be the case here. Marines, Marauders are moving forward right now. You see, these units are staying at the fort base, like a bunch of good boys, but perhaps they yeah, there we go, now get pulled away. Another drop heading towards this base. These units might be sent back. Good job here out of uThermal, but I think there's just a little bit too much ShoWTimE at this point. +2 has finished as well for him. 170, 180 supply. uThermal is floating his buildings, but I don't think he quite realizes how dead he is, as ShoWTimE is just way too far ahead right now. 127 supply. GG is called, and ShoWTimE wins the game on Curious Minds against uThermal.